Hey guys, I wanted to do this quick video and address this girl's death. This girl was murdered in my hometown in a botched drug deal and a botched marijuana deal sometime in the last month. And I just wanted to address this because this is just further evidence that prohibition creates more crime. And now an 18-year-old girl died, was shot and killed because of prohibition, because of black market marijuana deals, because shit's not legal. So first of all, boyfriend describes botched drug deal before a fatal shooting. Sidea Griffin, I apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly. She went to Kempsville High School. Kempsville High School was actually a high school that I attended. I attended Kempsville in 9th grade. And then I moved back to the original neighborhood I grew up in and went to school with my friends at Bayside High. But I did attend Kempsville High School in 9th grade. This guy here, Ethan Torres, was the shooter. It says January 14th was date night for Miss Griffin and her boyfriend Freddie. The 18-year-old honor student and the 19-year-old boyfriend were planning to go see a movie, but that evening the evening took a violent turn. After picking Griffin up from her grandmother's home in Green Run, by the way, is kind of a bad part of the city I grew up in. Also Bayside, where I went to school, but Green Run is kind of notorious just for drugs and violence and just everything criminal. Anyway, after picking her up from her grandmother's home in Green Run, buying tickets to a horror movie, and having dinner at Chick-fil-A, Freddie took his girlfriend on a detour before the show. Apparently, Freddie sold weed on the side. Freddie had been messaging with Ethan Torres that evening about selling Torres some marijuana. Freddie and Miss Griffin, what was her first name? Sidea. I'm just going to call her Miss Griffin because I don't want to mispronounce her name. Freddie and Miss Griffin pulled up to an apartment complex on Rudy Oak Court, an area that Freddie was not familiar with, and he struggled to recall Wednesday. Torres, who is 17, is facing charges including second-degree murder over what happened next. Freddie said Torres, whom he had known for a couple of years through social media. That's another thing. Let me stop right there real quick, guys. Just because you're Facebook friends with somebody or Twitter friends or Snapchat or whatever doesn't mean you know these people. Okay, apparently they had just been Facebook friends for a while. Then he was asking around for weed. Don't put yourself in situations with people that you don't know. But let me keep this moving. Through social media, he got into the back seat of his car while Griffin sat in the passenger seat. He handed $15 to Freddie, who said it wasn't enough. And the Instagram messages, okay, so it was Instagram. And the Instagram messages, Freddie said they agreed upon $100 for 10 grams of marijuana. So he handed the money back to Torres and told him he was short. That's when Torres pulled a gun. Freddie testified on the witness stand Wednesday in Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court. Holding the semi-automatic pistol over the center console between the two front seats, he pointed it at Freddie and demanded the weed. Sorry guys, I just woke up, I can't even fucking read. Freddie then pushed the gun away, telling Torres to get out of the car. And then Torres pointed the gun at him again. Freddie said, "He told me, I'll do it, and you should be counting the seconds before you die." At this point, the moment the guy pulls the gun out the car, if I'm in the car with my girlfriend or my friend or any fucking buddy, give him what the fuck he wants, man. Okay, if you're by yourself, if you want to be a man, you want to be macho, you don't want to give up your shit, I understand that, man. But when you have somebody else in the car, especially a girlfriend, especially an innocent third party, you got to do everything you can to minimize the situation. And it seems as if Freddie didn't do that. Said Freddie pushed the gun aside once more. That's when Torres pointed it at Griffin's back. Now, mind you, he was in the back seat. Griffin was in the passenger seat. Freddie was driving. From the front seat, Freddie said he grabbed the gun, pointed it away from Griffin several times before Torres finally agreed to get out of the car. So he still didn't come off the weed. He's still trying to get the guy out the car. As Torres was getting out, Freddie started to pull away. I looked back because I knew he had the gun, and as soon as I looked back, I saw the gunfire. From roughly 10 feet away, that's when Freddie saw the muzzle flash and heard the shot and the sound of the car windows breaking. Immediately, Griffin yelled out. She was crying, "I've been shot, I've been shot," Freddie said. He described a wound in his girlfriend's back below the shoulder blade on the left side. Freddie said he rushed Griffin to the hospital after he found his phone. He didn't know where he was and had to use the GPS to find Centera at Princess Anne. Centera's a hospital out there, obviously. Hospital staff retrieved Griffin from the car at about 10 p.m. and Freddie was placed in handcuffs. Griffin died shortly thereafter. So, I just wanted, that's pretty much it. There's just a little bit more. I just wanted to address this real quick, guys, because this scenario happened because of prohibition. This young girl right here died because of prohibition. This young man here is sitting in jail for several reasons, one of which is prohibition. Secondary is the economy. And third has to probably do with the situation in which he was raised and any type of mental problems that may have been inflicted on him. So the point of the matter is we are creating a society that is creating crime, that is getting beautiful young people who she appears to be an athlete. She was a senior. She's getting ready to graduate high school. She had an entire life ahead of her. And this is what's happening because of prohibition. So, in my opinion, this is just one more stone to be cast, one more brick to be placed in the wall against fucking prohibition. Like, we have to fight to get this shit overturned because this is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, now I know that these kids are 18 and that in a recreational state, you got to be 21. Some people are going to get their med card, and even if they're 18 and they were in a rec state, they could have got a friend of theirs that was 21 to legally find them cannabis without having to worry about something like this. Okay, now I understand that Freddie was selling it, but this scenario would have never happened had prohibition not existed. Okay, Ethan Torres right here would have never hit up Freddie and tried to buy some weed. Freddie would have never been having to buy some weed if Virginia actually had a fucking decent minimum wage and the economy wasn't so fucking broken and weed wasn't illegal. He would have probably never been in the position to sell weed if weed wasn't legal. Let me explain something to you also. Here in Colorado with legalization, not a lot of people, but there are people that still sell because a lot of people grow. People still do sell to their friends and shit. But you're hearing about a lot less robberies. You're hearing about a lot less crime involved with marijuana because the shit's legal. It's a much looser culture. People don't really fucking care. You're not gonna, if you start a little drug deal on the side, it's gonna be because this guy grew it and it's non-GMO and it's organic or whatever. Okay, you can go to the fucking store. You don't have to do this shit in a parking lot somewhere that you don't even fucking know with some guy that you met on social media getting in your back seat behind your fucking girlfriend. Like, it's just not cool, man. So I just wanted to do this video real quick. Send my condolences to the Griffin family. Say RIP to this beautiful young girl here. And I hope that shit like this stops in the near future. And just once again, guys, this is why if legalization for whether it be medicinal, recreational, whatever, if any marijuana legalization is coming up in your sound, in your province, in your county, in your city, your state, we need to vote yes. Anything that can stop senseless acts of tragedy like this from occurring in the future, we need to do everything we can. I'm out.